So I've almost reached max XP level in Halo Infinite, and hit max rank in Halo 5 like many years ago, like 2018 or something. And I think it's super interesting to look at both of these games and compare them to each other, because they both have really infamous legacies. And Halo Infinite is coming to the end of its lifespan. It's been almost like 3 years, and it's been some pretty brutal 3 years. The last 3 years of Halo have been worse than the last 3 years of World War II. And it's actually crazy, because if you put everything into perspective, Halo 5 almost released 10 years ago. Which means if you do the math, we would now be in 2018 if we go by the Halo 5 timeline. But both games are universally hated by the OG Halo community, which I don't personally agree with them even though I'm part of the OG community, but that's important to know later on. But both games are a monument to 343 sins. They are one of the many reasons why 343 Industries are looked at like the Arizona Coyotes of the gaming industry. This company is hated in gaming.
Who is the worst developer in the world? Well, rest easy tonight, my sweet children, because I will be answering this once and for all, using science, data, and my opinion, which is going to be stated as a fact. Now let's tackle this riddle. The correct answer to the question, who is the worst game developer, is 343 Industries.
But I actually find it really interesting how similar these games are, because both are packed full of content right now, especially Halo 5, but both of them released in some ass conditions. I'm talking extra large double BBL ass conditions, and I think that's a really good thing to talk about first. The release of these games. Halo 5 had 4 game modes that launched for Arena: Slayer, Breakout, and Strongholds. No Halo Infection update, no Halo Griffball update, no Halo Forge update, no Halo Sex update. It was bad. And main Blitz, who I'm sure you know about, made a recent video on Halo 5, and even he talked about how Halo 5 only had ranked game modes at launch, which was like the ultimate way 343 pushed the competitive scene in this game. And it's just so destructive if you think about it. Like if you're a longtime Halo fan, who loved playing like Jenga in Halo 3, or like Invasion from Halo Reach, in Halo 5 you were literally like pushed into the competitive scene, and you're just trying to take down sweaty 12-year-olds who are younger than Halo Combat Evolved, aka me. So the system was brutal, like Blitz said.
Now, Halo 5 is a fantastic competitive shooter, the key word there being competitive. The 343 developers at the time on Halo 5 made it even stricter skill-based matchmaking than Halo Infinite. If you can believe it, Halo 5 was so competitive in fact that when the game first came out, there was no social unranked playlists. Everything had a rank, even the weekend snipers playlist. So a rotational snipers playlist came out, it was ranked as well.
Halo Infinite's launch, on the other hand, was a sight to behold. It possibly broke the world record of who can release a game with no content and pretend people wouldn't know. It was mind-blowing. Halo Infinite had 20 million players on day one, and all of them realized that this game was not a game. It was basically a beta, and 343 were the beta males who made it. It was some truly like shameful behavior. And you wanna know something that is really unbelievable to think about? Neither of these two games are the worst 343 published games. Halo MCC by far still has the worst launch to a game I have ever seen. 343 are the kings when it comes to having disappointing launches, man. Halo the Master Chief Collection was genuinely unplayable for like months, and it never really became like a real good, smooth, playable title until like 2019. Like Halo MCC made people hate 343 with a fiery passion.
Welcome to the Master Chief Collection, where you get a black screen of death every 5 seconds, and then you spend your time just sitting here waiting.
There is not a single title on this entire disc that's working to form right now. Not a single title. That's the 343 guarantee. Is when they release a game, the shit is gonna suck and it's not gonna work.
So it's honestly impressive how 343 managed to top themselves and not learn a single lesson. It's like, how many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man? But overall, when it comes to the launch of Halo 5 versus Halo Infinite, I am gonna give this point to Halo 5 unfortunately. Halo Infinite did have a peak player count, which we have never seen, and Halo Infinite was free to play, but I think when it comes to like the content side of this game, it's still easily Halo 5. Halo 5 and Halo Infinite at launch both had campaigns, which yes, I'll talk about the campaigns later on, but Halo Infinite only had like a few modes on top of that. Halo 5 had Warzone, which was a huge success, and the customization in Halo 5 Even though it was far from perfect, it's still miles better than the silly cross-core system we have in Halo Infinite. So the launch of these games I do have to give to Halo 5. But now let's talk about the post-launch content. The post-launch is where the real meat of these games are. And it's some good meat. The kind of Drake meat I'm talking about. So let's start off with Halo 5. Halo 5 after a year had basically everything you could ask for. Infection is there. Griffball is there. Forge is there. Firefight is also there. In fact, it didn't even take a year. Everything we wanted came in a matter of months. And 3v3 were locked in. Year 2 and Year 3 of Halo 5 were not as interesting. 3v3 took the 12 Fireteam Warzone party because people kept farming and it was getting really toxic. So they instead made regular Warzone into 6-player party Warzone. And they made a new playlist called Warzone Warlords. This is where the big boys would play. This playlist was 12 party teams, only versing other 12 party teams. And this playlist was more dangerous than UFC and boxing combined. Really spooky, scary shit. Boys became men in this playlist, and some of the most competitive games in all-time Halo were played in this playlist.
Die! Everyone, don't kill him! Just die! No, die! No, die! Just don't shoot him! Don't shoot him! Don't shoot him! Dude. Hide! No, stop shooting! Oh my god! Holy shit! Oh my god! That is the greatest Warzone game to ever be played!
Halo Infinite, on the other hand, in the first year and a half, had less content added to it than Halo 5 did in the first 8 months. It took Halo Infinite a full year for Forge to come out. It took a year and a half for Infection to come out, which Halo 5 had in like 6 months. And not to mention, the Halo Infinite Infection isn't even Infection. It's literally just sit in a corner and camp simulator. I'd rather just play Club Penguin without the servers than this dog doodle playlist. And it basically took them 2 full years to get Firefight into this game. So needless to say, Halo 5 easily takes this point and runs with it to the moon and back. So right now, Halo 5 is winning 2-0. But now let's talk about the campaigns. Again, let's start off with Halo 5. Halo 5's campaign was some monster doo-doo. Or was it? No, just kidding, it was. Or at least the narrative. The narrative is just very bland. I mean, you don't even play as Master Goddamn Chief for like 80% of this game. You play as the brother Spartan Locke, who, don't get me wrong, is a cool motherfucker who has an amazing voice.
Locke, you buying the first drink when we're done?
You ask, you buy. Fire Team Osiris, the light is green.
But overall, the narrative just didn't really hit. It was way too cartoonish, and it felt like an episode of a TV show, rather than a grounded Halo experience. Like, Cortana being evil was not a super swag move that 350 thought it would be. And Chief in general was just so underutilized. There were some good moments. I really liked the Master Chief versus Locke cutscene, and even though it didn't make much sense, if you do suspend disbelief, this cutscene does kind of hit.
Listen to yourself. Stand down, Cortana. Come home with us. It's not too late to stop this.
Stop. No, John. This is too important to stop.
What are you?
I just needed to know if I could still trust you. You'll be safe inside this cryptum until my work is done.
Cortana.
Goodbye, John.
But the rest of the Halo 5 campaign was alright. I enjoyed some missions, and I really enjoyed the scenery. Like, you're constantly moving into different locations and different locations. You also got to see Arbiter, who is ultra sexy. Wouldn't mind looking at him for the rest of the campaign. But the mission designs overall were nowhere near the level of Halo 2, Halo 3, or Halo Reach. But let's talk about Halo Infinite's campaign. Now the narrative with Halo Infinite versus Halo 5 is a night and day difference. The Halo Infinite narrative actually feels like I'm moving closer to a somewhat sensible climax. The feeling you get in the open world, basically being surrounded by enemies, is just so eerie and I love it. It feels like those missions from Assassin's Creed, where your notoriety is maxed out, and the people want to eat your ass out. And the climax to this game is actually phenomenal.
If Halo cannot end them, it must imprison them. When it is done, the engineers will be busy. We will learn their secrets.
I fear I cannot do this alone.
You shall not be alone. The Criterion has given the order. Offensive bias has been deployed.
What the?
Was the story perfect? Nah. But was it the best 343 story? Definitely. Now the mission structure is a whole other story. The mission structure is basically like, think about the redneck Trevor part of the GTA map, and pretend for the rest of like the GTA story, you have to stay there and you can't leave. There's no snow or rain or like anything. It just didn't feel like the story was moving too far out of its comfort zone. The missions in Halo Infinite are mostly the same. Press a few buttons, do some dialogue, fight some enemies, drink some Red Bull, and move along with your day. It's that simple. There's just not much to do in this open world. The open world is basically just a cop-out, so the 343 didn't have to create new environments, and that was really good for them, because they need to rush out this game. But overall, I'm still gonna give the campaign to Halo Infinite. Halo 5 may do a lot better for level design, and just the feeling of not being repetitive, but Infinite's narrative is light years better than whatever the hell 343 were doing with Halo 5. Light years better, I'm saying. So I do think this is an easy point to give to Halo Infinite. But now let's talk about the gameplay. The gameplay for both of these games are amazing. Like some of the most satisfying feelings I've ever felt in gaming. Halo 5 was just so smooth, and it felt like super advanced Spartans fighting their balls off every game. And Halo 5 also has something called assassinations. If you're a new gen, you probably don't even know what these are, but man were they sexy.
When we joined the Covenant, we took an oath.
According to our station, all without exception.
On the blood of our fathers, on the blood of our sons, we swore to uphold the Covenant.
Even to our dying breath.
Those who would break this oath are heretics, worthy of neither pity nor mercy. Even now, they use our Lord's creations to broadcast their lies.
We shall grind them into dust.
And continue our march to glorious salvation.
Halo Infinite still doesn't have assassinations, but Halo Infinite by far is the most friendly Halo game to new gens and old school fans. They were a sprint, but it's nowhere near as problematic as Halo Reach, Halo 4, and definitely Halo 5. And Halo Infinite doesn't have things like Ground Pound, Spartan Charge, and the permanent thrusters. These things ruin the Halo experience for casuals in Halo 5. But in Infinite, it's just really sprint, and the sprint is very appropriate. But now this is where things get a little bit tricky. I love Halo 5's gameplay. I love it so much more than Halo Infinite's. But that's because I was that sweaty 14-year-old playing this game. But overall, looking at it from an unbiased point of view, I have to go with Halo Infinite here. So unfortunately, it's currently 2-2. 2 points for Halo 5 and 2 points for Halo Infinite. But now let's talk about the multiplayer. The multiplayer is very much going to Halo 5. Let's cut the bullshit. Halo Infinite after 3 years is arguably still playing catch up. We still don't have Griffball, or really even any action side playlists, and it's just not healthy. Halo 5 had everything in a matter of months, and they added even more things like Warzone Warlords, and it just stomps on Halo Infinite's multiplayer. But something that stomps on Halo 5 is Halo Infinite's Forge. Halo Infinite's Forge destroys Halo 5's Forge in every way.
So much better.
Holy shit, we survived.
How is this so big?
Oh, you bitch.
No,
yeah.
it's hi.
You want the
Dorito? No, swap. I drive.
All aboard.
No, Buildcraft, I drive.
Oh, alright, sure.
Yeah. Always drive. Oh, bro.
Oh, come on!
It's just next level on that game. So we are currently tied 3-3. Halo 5 has launch, post-launch, and the multiplayer. Halo Infinite has campaign, gameplay, and Forge. But I still would say Halo 5 is doing better. Since the stuff that Halo 5 does better, it does miles better than Infinite. But let's go to the tiebreaker. The tiebreaker I'm calling Other. Yeah, I don't know what to call this, so I'll call it Other. Now the customization is easily for Halo 5. It may not have the most variety, but it didn't have the dumb cross-core system that literally broke the engine of that game. And then you have the item shop versus the rec pack system. Again, it's a night and day difference. The item shop is just an item shop, and it completely destroys the value of everything in this game. The rec pack system, on the other hand, even though it made teenagers like me future gambling addicts, thanks 343, it still forced 343 to add new content to the game, so people would actually buy the rec packs.
Halo 5 really nailed the amount of content, new weapons, and new vehicles that a Halo game should have. Now, why was there so many? Because the loot boxes required it. 343 needed more content, so people kept buying packs. That's why there's so many pieces of armor, helmets, weapons, vehicles. The upside to it was that for both 4v4 and Warzone, there was plenty of new maps coming out, as well as big team battle maps thanks to Forge.
Now the UI of Halo Infinite is cluttered and it just doesn't make sense. And Halo 5 was pretty easy to navigate. But one thing Halo Infinite did so much better is the max rank reward. In Halo 5 you got an emblem, that's it. In Halo Infinite, you got Big Dick Master Cheeks himself. Like damn. But overall, I think when it comes to the tiebreaker, I think it does have to go to Halo 5. It does so many smaller things better than Halo Infinite. So with that being said, Halo 5 overall as a game is better than Halo Infinite. But yeah, don't hate me for this video. I still do love Infinite for what it is, and I do think it's kind of close, so please don't come to my address and throw rocks at my house because you disagree with me or whatever. But yeah, that's it for this video. Like, subscribe, and peace.